Now when Saturn goes into the 5th house from Ketu, 5th house is the house of gains. However, this is the fine line placement. This is slightly less troublesome, less stressful, less troublemaking placement for you. Why less troublemaking? Because any placement of Saturn from Ketu does bring you troubles of that house and the number of houses Saturn is placed away from Ketu. Fine line placement means Ketu is a planet of denial. Ketu is negating you the results of a house, of the sign and the planet that it is conjunct with. So when Saturn goes into the 5th house from Ketu, the 5th house from any house is the investments of that house, where you have put in the enough effort, enough investment that you have put in terms of time, money, energy, emotions, and you're expecting the rewards. So the gains that you're expecting in romance, but because you have invested your emotions, invested effort, invested time, and then you want the reciprocity also from the other person, from the person who you are partner with or want to partner with. So you're, in spite of biggest efforts, you'll find the romance that you're expecting, the love that you're expecting, the care that you're expecting, the intimacy that you're expecting, the mushiness that you're expecting in the relationship is very hard to come by. Many times you get close to one person, the relationship breaks, the partnership breaks, the acquaintance breaks before something else happens. And sometimes that also breaks. So this is a placement where many times 2, 3, 4, 5 relations break one after the other before you are able to settle into a final one. And that too, initial time is also a very troublesome time before finally you settle into a relationship where some care, some romance, some intimacy which satisfies you also comes to you. So this is a placement many times almost throughout your life you're not satisfied. It is not that enough is not given to you, but whatever is coming by to you is not satisfactory enough. That doesn't give you the feeling of your thirst being quenched. Not that ever your thirst will be completely quenched, but this is a placement where you feel more has not come to you, though you have put in the maximum investments. 5th house is the house of investments. So here you have put in enough investments in the relationship, enough investments in maybe in stocks, in market, in home, in something you have put in your either effort or money or emotions, and yet the effort doesn't give you the fruits of your labor. So this is surely a placement of strong denial for gains. Whichever house Saturn is placed from Ketu. So Ketu is in the 2nd house, Saturn goes into the 6th house of service. So in your service, money not coming in at all, in spite of all your efforts, all the backbending that you have done. Because this is the correction of karmic debt you need to give off through your service. So gains are not given to you unless you are giving off. But Ketu is the 9th from Saturn, which means if you have put in enough effort, you have done enough over a period of time, you have persevered, then the results and the gains may come to you, but sometimes they come very, very late in life. So whichever house Saturn goes from Ketu, yeah, we're talking about 5th from Ketu, yeah, almost forget the gains coming in from the house where Saturn is placed and the houses that Saturn rules. So if Saturn rules, say for example, the 12th house and placed in the 5th house, when Ketu is in the Lagna, which means from foreign lands you may not be able to get enough gains in spite of all your efforts, in spite of all your investments, or getting romance or getting a long-term stable partnership, or maybe a relationship in a foreign land or with a foreign person or from different ethnicity can be very troubling. So with your time, but from the house it's almost denied. Persevere, be patient, and maybe over a period of time there will be some return back to you.